last 48 hours. Ukraine's ambassador says a political solution is difficult when ceasefires are ignored.
Mr. Putin, who 3 times, if I'm right, he promised to withdraw troops from Russian territories, but they are still there. It is true that we lost confidence because they do not respect the agreements we reached. They don't keep their words.
The Security Council has met 26 times over Ukraine, but little action has been taken. Russia is a permanent member and has veto power.
Andrij Dobriansky is an executive board member at the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, joining us now to talk about these most recent events. Good morning, Andrij. Let's just be blunt about this. Is this the beginning of Russia's annexation of eastern Ukraine?
I think if you look at what happened in Crimea, you see a lot of the same kind of fingerprints here. What we're seeing now are open tanks in the streets of Ukraine, whereas before there were individual armored vehicles, there was an armor column. Now we're seeing open regular army troops, much like what we saw in Crimea after the initial invasion. Now we're seeing, you can't deny, even though Russia is denying it in the Security Council, you can't deny based on what you're seeing visually that there are regular Russian troops now in Ukraine.
So going back to Georgia, Russia has done what it has wanted to do. It says that it's going to stop. It enters into a ceasefire agreement, but then that is violated. Absent direct military action, is there anything that is going to stop Vladimir Putin from advancing and creating that land bridge to the sea, which everybody agrees he wants?
I think you're expressing what most people in Eastern Europe understand, which is without a slap on the wrist, without something physically stopping Putin's forces, there's absolutely nothing to stop him to date. The old adage is there is no dictator that has ever stopped his advance without military intervention.
And other than the Ukrainian military, which our reporter in eastern Ukraine in Donetsk says they are sending more military reinforcements, NATO is not going to make a commitment to putting ground troops in Ukraine.
No, but what we need is to support the Ukrainian military. Every time the Ukrainian military upgrades itself, and it has upgraded itself from a standing army of basically 0 after the revolution, because that entire army was disbanded by the former government, it has reconstituted to over 100,000 standing people in that conflict zone on the border with Russia. Every time that army is improved, added upon with anti-tank weapons, which we're asking the West for, that means another calculation has to be done by the opposing commanders. And they don't want their own people to be killed because that's part of army. So,
Mr. Dobriansky, we are going into a second long winter now of unrest. After so many months of conflict, what are the people there saying now about the uprising, the unrest, and whether or not it was all worth it?
Almost united in terms of people being adamant that Ukraine is on the right path, that looking towards West, which was the whole point of the revolution, everybody is behind that kind of...
You're talking about people in Western Ukraine? Or...
I'm talking about people across Ukraine. No, even people who are volunteering to fight, part of the battalions or the regular troops. The regular troops are not complaining anymore. They've been underfunded before. They are ready for the fight now. They see that Ukraine is undergoing all these elections in terms of the parliamentary elections. New laws are being passed. Ukraine is on the right path. And what's not on the right path is across the border in Russia.
Andrij Dobriansky, as always, we thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Del.
Thank you.